Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wednesday and my live Q&A here on Instagram and a recording on YouTube as well. Today I am not talking about a question that I've received because I wanted to share something that is a bit of a stretch for me. Because I have not talked about this live in this space, and that is about seeing the healing journey and the transformation journey of healing fatigue as an awakening journey to unlock the divine in ourselves. And what does that mean? So, in order for you to understand that, I want to share my take on who we are here on this planet. So I believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So many people talk about that we're physical beings having spiritual experiences. I think it's the other way around. That we are spiritual beings. We are souls having a physical experience. And when we talk about human beings having a spiritual experience, what we're actually doing is connecting to who we truly are. Now, what I'm sharing here today is not necessarily your truth. This is my belief and what's true for me. So I invite you to listen to it, to take on whatever feels right to you, and just leave the rest. Because nothing of this may feel like a truth to you, and that's fine. That doesn't mean that we can't work together. But I just want to be transparent with what I believe in and what I find to be true for me. So from that perspective of us being spiritual beings having a physical experience, I also believe that before we come into this incarnation, before we are born as physical beings, we sign a form of contract together with other spiritual guides. And this contract is a little bit about stating what it is that we are going to do as physical beings, as humans on Earth. If there are any specific lessons that we want to learn, if there is a specific purpose that we incarnate to Earth to do. And for me, when we have such an intense experience as fatigue, chronic fatigue, long COVID, severe burnout, and other forms of severe fatigue, this can be seen as the body showing us the way to connect to ourselves as spiritual beings. So what happens when we are on this journey of healing, and I'm not saying this is true for everyone, again, but what I invite you to think about, what if this were true? What if this is your calling to remember who you are? To remember that you are a divine being. I know this might be a stretch to some, and that's okay. For me, this is what the journey has been about. It's been about remembering. And so I believe that when we're born, we forget who we are. And this is quite practical because when we're born into society, into, most of us at least, parents and people around us that don't always believe in this. And so if we come here as fully awakened beings, that is a bit of a challenge coming into this world. So if we remember gradually, then that makes the journey a little bit easier. And I'm not saying it's easy. Absolutely not. It is an extremely uncomfortable and challenging experience at times. But what we can do on that journey is allow ourselves to, one, seek out people that can support us on this journey, that can support us in remembering who we are, that can hold space for us to take care of all those challenging experiences that come with this journey. And those experiences are often trauma. So it can be about healing trauma that has made us believe that we are something completely different, that we are far from these divine, beautiful beings. So for me, this journey took me on, I'm going to give you an example. I was on a retreat in Glastonbury, Great Britain, in the UK. And Glastonbury is, according to some people, the heart chakra of the earth. And it's a very spiritual place. And for me coming there, I was very affected by arriving there. And one thing that happened when I was on that retreat, I didn't know very much about priestesses or anything like that. But we were sitting there in a circle, and all of a sudden I just state, I devote my life to the path of the priestess. And tears were running down my face. I had no idea what that meant. And my body was shaking, and I felt quite shocked with that experience. Luckily, I had this amazing retreat leader that was able to support me in this, and that thought that this was nothing weird, nothing strange. It was just me remembering who I am. And so that's what I mean about having people around you that you can support you on this. People that have done this journey beforehand, that have walked this path, that have gone through these challenging experiences. Because that supports you in not feeling crazy. Because let me know, there have been times where I have thought that I was going mad, that I was really losing it. And what has helped me realize that I'm not losing it, that I'm actually very sane, is having these people around me. Another similar experience for me was listening to a podcast by two women called Shaman Sister Sessions. And the name of the podcast was Signs You Are a Shaman. And they talked about all kinds of different things. And everything they said was like, oh my God, I've been doing that all my life. Like relating to picking up stones and feeling that there was a story in the stone, or that I could talk to a stone, or that I could talk to trees, or that I had such a strong connection to nature that I could feel the pain, for example, when trees were cut down. And listening to this podcast really helped me understand that I'm not alone in having these experiences. And having these experiences doesn't mean that I'm crazy. So what does this have to do with healing fatigue? For some people on the healing path, it might have a lot to do. And for other people, it's completely irrelevant. Because we have different journeys in life, right? We don't all walk the same path. And I would say that no one walks the same path. We all walk our own path. And in the shamanic world, this is sometimes called shamanic illness, because it's about not realizing who we truly are and the body having to scream loud enough for us to listen. And it will do that in different ways. With physical illness, for example, like it was for me, of having chronic fatigue. And what happened was, it was like the fatigue closed off the world for me, literally, because I could not have normal conversations with people, because I would forget what they were talking about, what we were talking about. And it was exhausting to meet a lot of people. And I became extremely sensitive in my hearing and extremely light sensitive. And to me, this was my body saying, you need to shut out the world outside and start listening in. And it's interesting because I was sitting thinking about this yesterday and realizing that the sensitivity of the hearing and the sensitivity of the light was, for me, this is the way I see it, was the awakening of the ability to listen in a different way and the ability to see in a different way. It was like the body was making my hearing and my sight even more sensitive to other things, so that I would block out certain things that would disturb me from seeing my truth and opening up space for me to be able to connect to who I truly am. And I still don't entirely know who I truly am. I mean, there are people that spend years meditating, sitting with one question, sitting with the question, who am I? And for many people on this spiritual path, that is the journey of finding out who we truly are. And to me, this is something very beautiful about seeing the healing journey of healing fatigue as an awakening journey of awakening to the divine in ourselves, awakening to who we are, that we are these amazing divine beings, that I cannot always explain what that means. But to me, it's being someone or something, an energy that is complete light, love, is light, does not, it's not the part of me that projects, that gets angry, that holds grudges. It's the part of me that is able to see all of it and hold all of it with love. So I'm curious how this lands for you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So you can go ahead and share either in the comments or send me a DM. Yeah, if this resonates with you, you are so welcome to apply for my one-on-one coaching program, because I just finished with one of my clients, and I have a space opening up right now. So you can go ahead and check out the link in my bio, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I will post the link in the comments, so you can apply or just send me a message. Okay, I feel like this was a lot for me to share because it's a vulnerable share, and maybe I will talk about that in another Q&A about why this is so vulnerable for me and for many other people. So I am going to finish today with 3 deep breaths. And so I invite you to join me, and if you feel like it, you can close your eyes or soften the gaze, whatever feels good to you. Maybe you want to put a hand over your heart and one hand over your belly, and taking a deep breath in, breathing all the way down into the belly, and breathing out with a sigh. And deep breath in again, and breathing out with a sigh. Deep breath into the belly, and the last sigh out with Okay, loves. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and rest of the week. And next week there will not be a Q&A because it's Easter holiday here. So I will see you again in 2 weeks. Sending you lots of love.